Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the South Greene Rebel basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Terry Hoese. Coach, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm assuming you're doing a little better than usual, considering what's in front of us for the second time this year.
Yes, sir.
We've got a championship plaque in front of us. At first, it was the Hardy's Championship over Thanksgiving break. Now we get the Big H Barbecue Christmas Bash Championship for the second year in a row here on Christmas break.
Yep.
Ended up winning that tournament again by beating Union County, Tri-Cities Christian, and Lakeway Christian Academy. Before that, you got a win against Granger. So we talked about it last week. You had a little bit of a tough stretch in your schedule. You got by it. You went into Granger, you got a win, you picked up 3 more. We get to talk about 4 straight wins this week. How good does that feel?
It's a lot better than the 2 straight losses, I can tell you that. We went through a little stretch there and didn't play very well for a couple of weeks. And we went down to Granger the other night, tough place to play, and we still only scored 59 points. I didn't feel like we played really well, but we're able to sneak out with a win, and then went in and played Union County on Saturday, first round of the Christmas tournament. And Union County gave us all we wanted to. That thing wasn't finalized until the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. It was still a game, so we still didn't get to play them well really until Monday night. And played Tri-Cities Christian, good basketball team, and felt like we played like we were playing a month ago. And then Tuesday night come in with Lakeway. Lakeway, I'd watched them play Cocke County on Monday night, and I don't know how many the Jackson kid had against Cocke County. It seemed like it was 50. But I knew we were going to have a tough time with him, and felt like we did a good job on him. He still had 35 on us, but Lakeway was a good opponent too. So it was 4 good wins over the past week.
And I know that we talked about Granger being a tough place to go play. That was when it turned your season around last year. I won't quite say it's a game that turned your season around this year, but it was a game that marked this winning streak for you, too. Yep. Talk about how tough it is to go down there in Granger and pick up a win, and how tough it was to go down there this year.
It's tough. Like we talked before, the atmosphere down there is really good, especially for their home team. Gym was pretty well packed. I thought maybe with it being Christmas break, there wouldn't be as many people there, but good crowd, good atmosphere. And Coach Wolfenbarger does a great job getting his kids ready to play, and they played their tails off. And they made a bunch of shots that normally I wouldn't expect them to make, and they kept it a game for a long time. And I was tickled to death to get out there with a win. It's one of those places I go play. If I can win by 1, I'll take it.
Let's talk about the Tri-Cities Christian game. What a game that was. I was fortunate enough to be there for that one. You were up by as much as 10. You were down by as much as 10. There were 2 consecutive runs in the fourth quarter. Neither of you could gain an upper hand on each other in regulation, had to go to overtime to settle it. Talk about how crazy of a game that was.
It was crazy. I remember calling timeout there in overtime. I think we got down 8 or something like that in overtime, and I called timeout, and then look up, and I think we went on a 10-0 run. To get buckets is one thing, but to go down and get stops when kids are on a roll, Tri-Cities Christian's good, man. They've got kids that can flat play, and to be able to go on those streaks at the right time. I told my kids at halftime, I said, this is going to come down, if we don't do something defensively, it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last, because it kind of seemed like it was that way. Mm-hmm. Everybody kept just scoring. And we were very fortunate at the end of that thing to come out. We made a big bucket to tie it to go into regulation, or to go into overtime to start with. So it was a big night for us. I think we scored, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds to go or something like that to tie the game at the end of regulation, and had to get a stop. And they got a good look at it at the end of regulation. Luckily, it didn't go in. So. Felt very fortunate to get to overtime, and then to beat a team like that. They were good, and I said it before, some of these Christian schools, you never know what you're going to get, but Tri-Cities Christian and Lakeway Christian are both quality programs, and I was very blessed to get those wins.
And you get into the Lakeway game too, and you cannot talk about the Lakeway game without talking about Jace Roderick. What a shooting clinic he put on. Yep. 6 3-pointers in the first quarter alone. I think 9 3-pointers total, 39 points. Easily a career high for him.
Absolutely.
One of the highest single game scoring games in South Greene basketball history. Talk about the hot shooting night that he had.
It's one of those things. I've said it all along. You take Jace and Woody and Cooper, all three. They can all three go off at any time. And luckily for us, they all three shot well against Lakeway. But Jace come out and knocked down those first couple, and it was on. Lakeway come out, started out in the zone, and we got a good couple of looks. Those first two Jace took were uncontested, and he knocked those things down, and what a night. That's a storybook for Jace. He did wind up, he shot 8 for 9 from three-point line.
Wow.
He missed one three-pointer for the whole night, so 8 for 9 from three-point line. Big night for him, 39 points in a game that was big, and we talked before. I didn't have Jace against Hampton, come back and played on Saturday against University High, and he wasn't full strength. So he's a big part of what we do.
How much has your trophy case gained over these last 2 years?
I've had two good teams, and I hope this is not the end. I hope we can finish this thing up and get a district title again, and then maybe whoever knows. The region's going to be really tough, but never been a regional title game here at South Greene High School, so our regional title plaque. Be really nice to bring one of those back. But I can't say enough about these two teams that I've had these past 2 years. These guys that are playing right now got a lot of playing time last year, so I say it's two separate teams. I lost 5 seniors last year, and I don't deduct anything from them. They were all great players too. And some of these guys came off the bench that I'm playing right now, and for them to form their own team and have that team atmosphere and come together as a good group, it's phenomenal. And it started back before summer ever started. This group's worked hard. We had a good summer, and it's paid off. They like each other. We were in here last night. Parents had a little get-together for my kids last night out here, and they came out and had a good time. They genuinely like each other. We get through with practice. They go eat dinner together. Just a good group of kids.
We had quite the trophy showcase last year in one of our last interviews. I think we had 4 or 5 plaques laying out here. We've got 2 so far. We've got plenty more time to add on to it.
I hope so.
We've got the second half of the season coming up. We'll put an end on the first half of the season. We'll cut to break and then preview some of the second half and recap some of the first half here in just a second here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greenville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Rebels head coach Terry Hoese. So we're kind of at that midway point throughout the season so far. I think at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, you're 12-3 on the season.
12-3, yes.
1-1 within the region, sitting at, I believe, third place right now, with some teams playing 1 game, some teams playing 2, or it could be a tie for second. I'm not sure. There's too many regions to keep up with. But I want to talk about some of your funnest moments throughout the season so far. I know we're only halfway through. You've won 2 holiday classics. You've had some really good regular season battles so far. You've probably had some great moments throughout practice and throughout summer. Talk about some of your favorite moments through the halfway point of your season.
Well, I don't know how it is with other coaches, but summer is always one of my favorite times. There's no pressure to play. You get to kind of relax and have a good time with your kids and build a little camaraderie. But obviously summer's fun. But you get into the competitive side of it. Man, to go play in the Hardy's Classic, which is always a very competitive tournament, and good teams and to be able to win that thing and to win it the way we won it. Who would have ever thought we would go beat Crockett by 30 plus? It was one of those nights that we come out and played extremely well, and they didn't play as well as they could play. I know they're better than what they played that night, but we kind of hit them in the mouth early, and the rest of the game was fun. And then you go to Dobbins Bennett, who I don't think anybody in East Tennessee would have ever given us a shot to go into Dobbins Bennett and beat them. Honestly, I didn't know where we stood either, to be honest. I didn't know how good we could be. But went up there that night and come out and played exceptionally well and stunned those people in Kingsport a little bit. And that was fun, obviously. And then, come out and play in this thing and play really well these last two nights down at the Big H Classic. And it was fun moments. And I told my kids after the game Tuesday night, they come in, they were like, "This is for you guys." And I told them at that point, it ain't about us. It's so much enjoyment for me and Coach Dyer to see these guys have success and have fun together, and to know that it's halfway over. So I enjoy all these moments that I get with good teams, especially. I've had those teams that we've won 4 games. We've had teams we've won 6 games, and those are some tough years. So when you come in and you get good teams like this, and they're competitive, and they go out and they beat good teams, to see the excitement in the gym. There's people coming to watch. There's a lot of talk in the air, so it's good for our community.
It makes things much sweeter now that you can have those great seasons where you can bring home these plaques during the holiday seasons. But it doesn't feel like you're halfway through the season at this point.
No, it goes fast. It does. That whole Thanksgiving and Christmas, you look up and you start there in November, middle of November, and then you look up and it's December, halfway through December, and your season's halfway over. And then you get into January and February, and you feel like it takes forever. You play those conference games that they all mean something, and it seems like you're just battling every day to try to stay in and be competitive. So to look up and have played 15 games already in just a little over a month is insane.
It doesn't feel like the halfway point because you could potentially play all the way to March. So it's weird to say the second month of the season is kind of the halfway point. But January and February, those are the most fun months of the season because, like you said, it's when the games count the most.
It is.
That's when you get the region games. That's when it seems like every other night you're playing a game that matters, and it might be at home. It might be away. You never know. You'll just have to look at the schedule and see. But 2 dates that I've already had circled on your calendar that I personally am looking forward the most to is 2 games back-to-back, January 13th and January 16th. I can't remember the exact order, but you get Chucky Doak and Dobbins Bennett back-to-back here at home.
Yeah, it all sounds like fun to me.
I think it's Dobbins Bennett, then Chucky Doak, because the Dobbins Bennett one is on a Saturday night, which prime time. You playing Dobbins Bennett again, I can guarantee you're probably going to generate a little more interest from those Kingsport fans with it being on a Saturday night and with what happened the first time you went up there too. So that's one that I am personally interested in the most.
I would say it'll be standing room only.
I'd say it will too. It is usually that way on a Friday or a Saturday night here at South Greene. It was last year when you played North Greene on a Saturday night, and it was last year when you played Chucky Doak on a Saturday night, and it very well could be when you play the Black Knights on a Tuesday night too. Yep. South Greene's one of those, if you don't show up early, you might be parking alongside the road and you might be standing in the cafeteria trying to watch the game.
Yeah, we go to these gyms and play, even down at Cherokee this past week. It's nice to have those big gyms, and I think sometimes, man, it'd be nice to have a gym like this. But then when you get in here and play in competitive games, it's nice to have a small gym. Mm-hmm. You look up and there's nowhere to sit, and it gets loud, and it's a home court advantage.
Mm-hmm. It is for sure. I think the smaller gyms are nicer just for that factor too. The big ones, it's like, hey, you got a little bit more money.
Yep.
It's nice, but when you get the smaller gyms, I think it creates, like you said, more of a hometown environment that's key to you on your home court that kind of rattles the other teams a little bit.
Absolutely.
And the other fans too, because they see you all and they're like, wow.
Yep.
They've really got.
They get their little section over here, and
Yep.
South Greene fills up the rest of it. And,
Yep.
they get here early. There's been nights we look up and we're playing JV games, and it's standing room only. People try to get here and get seats, and you look up and it's crowded even for a JV game. So it's exciting, and hopefully we keep playing well, and hopefully people come keep watching.
Even for media, you've got to get here early because, as I've learned too, your stage might be full and there might not be a seat on the stage that you can find. So you might be standing up there on the stage too. So if any other media members are watching this, come early. Don't take it for granted just because you got that badge. Come early. But, Coach, I think that's all we've got. We've got the Big H Barbecue Christmas Bash Championship plaque in front of us. Halfway through the season, 12-3, pushing forward into a strong 2024. I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas
Merry
and a Happy
Christmas to you, too.
and a Happy New Year. Thank you for everything that you do with us, and thank you for everything that you did throughout 2023.
Same here. I appreciate you guys and your coverage, and y'all give our kids a lot of coverage and a lot of publicity, and we appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Thank you all for watching this week's edition, and I guess this year's edition of the Terry Hoese Show. We look forward to seeing you all in 2024 here on Grassroots Media.